Welcome to the Unscripted SEO Interview Podcast. Yes, it's 100% unscripted, 100% unrehearsed, 100% unedited, and 100% real. I'm your host, Mark A. Preston. What percentage of your time as a freelance SEO has to be split between actually doing the work and then doing all the business stuff as well as the lead gen and sales?
So I am somewhat spoiled because I haven't had to do sales too much. I've had to do a lot of follow-up, but the process of actually getting yourself out there and getting yourself visible and writing something on LinkedIn or posting stuff on Twitter or being part of a Twitter chat or something like that, it's the stuff that gives you visibility. That can take time. And I think that's really important because personal branding and branding around focused topics. So for a while, I was a big site guy. All right. I like it. I'm good at it. And that focus gives you an insight into people with big sites. That's your target customer. Then I've looked at, helping agencies. That's been pretty good as far as coming in, doing the kind of SWAT team and looking at agencies and saying, this is out of process. You don't have a process for this. This is where potentially retention is a challenge. And so, you focus on something like that and you're able then to promote yourself, to position yourself as an expert in that through content and everything else. So that can be time consuming. Writing is not something that I sit down and it takes me 10 minutes and I've got an article. It takes me a few hours to write something, but it's worthwhile doing it. Definitely. As far as that business side is, I'm saying find a platform. There's enough of them now that give you a lot of templating that saves a lot of time around the business side of it. Now, the biggest thing, and I've seen this with lots of people, and I've spoke to other freelancers, kind of freelancing with the freelancers, join groups that help in your specific niche or vertical. So there's lots of SEO groups out there that will help you. You can throw questions at them. It depends on your niche. But that's important to have a support group so you can solve problems a little bit quicker because everyone's had those same problems. But the ideal mix for me is just enough. It's the same as saying, how long should a piece of content be? You've got to make sure you send out your invoices consistently. So I have that automated. So at the start of a project, an invoice goes out. At the midpoint or whatever, 3 weeks later, it triggers, it sends out the next one. If it's something monthly, it goes out monthly. And you just have to tweak stuff otherwise. So if there's something where it's not quite aligned with the invoice, just go and tweak it before it goes out. And then there's reminders are sent out consistently because it's great doing the work. If you don't get paid, it doesn't really matter. So I have a lot of triggers that follow up with reminders once it gets 2 days before payment, day of payment, 2 days after payment, a week after payment. And, at that point, you pick up the phone. But there is no exact measure of how much time you should spend on the business. But the main thing is spend time on how you're going to get paid and spend time on making sure you do get paid. And the time tracking side of it, once again, everyone will do overtime. If you're good at what you do and passionate about what you do, and I know you are, and I am, you spend more time than you think doing something. So I log it. And once again, if it's over the invoice amount, I will discount it, but I will show the number of hours I've worked on it. Set expectations. Because next time you say, hey, well, the last project I actually did like 4 hours over. How about we look at upping the time for this particular project? And I think we'll be better. And if you've done a great job and you've over-delivered without charging them, most people generally say yes.
You've been listening to the Unscripted SEO Interview Podcast with me, Mark A. Preston. Join us next time as I interview more top SEO professionals.